The tide rises, and with it, the wrath of the north. Wind crashes against the coast, mist crawls over the beach like a shroud, and through the fog, the sound of shields echo like thunder, a roar of war, an approaching storm of men. The Vikings charge, opposing warriors break, lines collapse, men flee in terror as if chased by creatures born from Ragnarok itself. And leading this unstoppable wave stands one man, calm, furious, a predator studying the chaos in front of him. That man is Ragnar Lodbrok, hero, king, conqueror, or simply a legend forged from the fear Europe felt toward the sons of the North. Today, we reveal the true story behind the myth. Most people know Ragnar from the Sagas, the fearless explorer, the king who defied kingdoms, the warrior with leather Lodbrok, shaggy trousers hardened to fight serpents. But the historical Ragnar is more elusive, more complex, and perhaps even more fascinating. Medieval sources, Saxo Grammaticus Gesta Danorum, the Saga of Ragnar, the tale of Ragnar's sons, do not describe one single Ragnar. They describe several leaders, several warriors, whose deeds eventually merged into one legendary figure. Ragnar Lodbrok is not a single man. He is a symbol, a fusion of raids, battles and conquests carried out by multiple Danish warlords of the 8th and 9th centuries. What we know for certain is this. There was a leader, or several, whose actions were so devastating that their memory shaped Europe for generations. The sagas claim Ragnar was the son of King Sigurd Ring. Other sources claim he rose from the ranks, a jarl with no crown but unmatched ferocity. But all sources agree on one thing. From a young age, Ragnar sought war. Battle was his home, the shoreline his frontier. In an era where survival depended on strength, Ragnar understood a simple truth. To live, one must conquer. He began building his reputation raid by raid, first as a simple plunderer, then as a commander, then as a leader capable of uniting entire clans under his banner. Every burned village, every captured treasure, every defeated enemy fed the growing myth of Ragnar. The Viking raids on England and France described by medieval monks fit perfectly with what the sagas attribute to Ragnar. His attacks were swift, precise, designed to collapse kingdoms before they could defend themselves. One of the most famous was the 845 sack of Paris. A Viking leader named Ragnar appears in Frankish records, a name almost identical to Ragnar. That fleet sailed up the Seine like a blade cutting into flesh. They seized the city, humiliated the Frankish kingdom, forced King Charles the Bald to pay an enormous tribute. The message was clear. Christendom was not prepared for the fury of the North. The sagas describe Ragnar's wives: Lagertha, a shield maiden warrior; Aslaug, the daughter of a Valkyrie and a dragon slayer. These stories blend myth and symbolism, but they reflect something plausible. Ragnar may have formed multiple political marriages, as many leaders did. What is historically grounded is the legacy of his supposed sons: Ivar the Boneless, Bjorn Ironside, Sigurd Snake in the Eye. These men did exist. They did wage war across Europe, and they did lead armies that shook the world. If Ragnar was a myth, his sons were an earthquake. One of the most iconic stories is Ragnar's death, thrown into a pit of venomous snakes by King Ella of Northumbria. Historically, very uncertain. Contemporary chronicles never mention this scene. But it is plausible that a captured Viking leader was executed brutally, and medieval storytellers transformed that execution into the ultimate heroic death. According to the Sagas, Ragnar laughed as the snakes bit him and spoke the words that changed history. How the little pigs would grunt if they knew how the old boar suffers. True or not, those words unleashed a storm, because the very next year, his sons invaded England with the great Heathen army, a force so massive that Christian writers believed it was divine punishment. So, who was Ragnar Lodbrok? A king? A warrior? A composite of several men? What matters is this: he embodied everything the Viking Age represented: violence, ambition, conquest, but also intelligence, charisma, and a legacy unmatched by any Norse leader. Ragnar's story is not just about what he did, but about the fear he inspired, the shadow he cast over kingdoms, and the echo of his name, which even today, more than 1,000 years later, still thunders like a storm born in the north. Legends are not born, they are carved into the world with fire, with steel, and with memory. And Ragnar Lodbrok was all of those things, and more.